This is a confession. Americans have become obsessed with happiness. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out the
Sounds like
connotation
my
of that
grandmother.
also.
I think it's you.
He's a smart man, this guy. Yeah.
So,
It's like...
is that a bad thing?
I don't think it's a bad thing, but it's a thing that, to me, is a little worrisome because it's, we're worried about our well-being, and we're worried about, do we working out enough, and are we mindful enough, and we're so, it's almost like we're analyzing ourselves to a point where can't we just live our life? And my goal is not necessarily happy. I mean, I'm happy to be happy, but my goal is to have things that I'm interested in.
Well, I think it has to do with social media, though. It kind of shows the performative nature. Like, I don't know if you ever noticed, but if you look at wedding stuff on Instagram, all the couples come down the aisle, and this might be a straight thing, and they raise their hands in victory as if they've accomplished something. And then there's all this performative stuff, and I think so social media is constantly, like, it used to be just TV and movies maybe, but now it's all the time. You're surrounded, and so
well, yes, because if I hit something about I had shoulder surgery and I hit my shoulder exercises, rehab, and then it starts coming up again. So it's the same thing. If I do something about my well-being and my mental stat, how am I feeling mentally? It just inundates you.
Well, it seems like you're raising the question about the thin line between happiness and hedonism, right?
Okay.
It's happiness,
Yeah.
Is it happiness for its own sake, just for the selfishness feels almost a little bit too harsh. But the question of what are you losing in the name of your own happiness, right? Because perhaps there are some more profound things that are out there besides your own happiness. I may feel like a hit dog hollering right now as you speak on this because I'm really focused on happiness. It's going really well. But there are traits.
Yeah. I like growing up. Like, I grew up on the edge of a small town in the rural South. We didn't know we were broke. We didn't know that anything was bad. Like literally in a small town, the difference between like a rich person and a poor person is about $20,000 a year. Like, nobody has actually any money. So like the dentist maybe makes a little bit more money than the mailman, but not a lot of money. And so we were just too dumb to not be happy. Now, you compare yourself to people who have private planes.
Yeah, it's a comparison.
When you're in college. The chances of you being happy in that environment are very, very low.
that story is a Dolly Parton song, just so you know.
But what?
I lived in a town, and we all were happy. We didn't know we were poor. That's her classic.
But literally, I grew up in Tennessee. She's from Tennessee.
Yeah.
I grew up in West Tennessee. She's from Middle Tennessee. It's a true story. And like gravel road, we had septic tanks, no sewage. And we were happy.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes I think that this quest for personal happiness has totally eroded things that are bigger than us, like
Group happiness.
leaving just also like there was a time when success was you have kids, you make enough money that they do well, you leave a legacy through your children, whatever, right? Like, I feel like legacy was a thing that people aspired to. And I'm not sure that they do anymore because they're so busy wanting to maximize themselves.
Yeah.
And some of it is like, some people have children, some people don't. But I think it's just also what comes after you.
Yeah, but I don't think that people
sight
think
of.
a legacy is a future tense concept anymore. And that's
They
where
think
so
of it
like
as what they
there's the
can enjoy
idea,
right
I think the
now.
Neil Postman idea that legacy did not exist until the written word existed, right? Until there was something that allowed you to go into the future, to exist on beyond your own life. Why would you be worried about that? But then once you could write stuff down, you could do that, okay, now we have the legacy. Now that we have the tools of social media, you can kind of do your legacy in real time, and people, like, if that even counts as a legacy, but it gives you the same notion or idea that there's some impression that you make upon people, except now it is measured in likes. And you get to look at it and monitor it as it goes.
You also talk to, like, nothing is unshared. There's no.
Oh, yeah.
there's no
That's
bit
the
of-
big situation. We're not
Sometimes-
supposed to know
I
as
think
much
it
about
was-
each other.
I can't remember who it was, but there's that movie where she goes, hush. I find myself doing that a lot now. Hush.
You don't need to
stop talking.
reveal that much
Yeah.
information all the time.
Yeah.
We
People
say
that-
on a show
people
where
that want
we're
to do it because
confessing
people
obsessed.
can hear them, and then also forget that people can hear them. Like, it's a diary and a megaphone at the same time, which is a real strange concept.
Totally. Confession, retirement is not appealing at all.
Oh,
That's probably all of you. I mean,
no, I have a date.
maybe not.
No, I have a date. Yeah.
You have a date?
Oh, yeah.
You have a what?
A date.
It's a date to
Like
retire.
a date to
I
retire.
I'm gonna go on Kalshi.
Who's it?
I guarantee whatever date this is will
It
be
is-
blown past
Yeah, I
by
totally
Kara
agree.
Swisher.
All right,
I-
who's going to claim it?
Gone in 60
me.
seconds.
Badger
That was
back,
me.
bro.
That was me. Yeah. Overrated. Way overrated.
Yeah, that's good. Nobody's
So you're going to work
retiring.
until you.
I just love
Nobody's
what I do.
retiring, yeah.
You know, I mean, I'm lucky to do the things I love to do, when they're in sports and even, come on a show like this here and there. By the way, when I started to come on and do some of these shows, more of the political shows, which I did a couple years ago, my brother pulled me aside at Tennis Academy. He goes, "What the are you doing going on these shows?" He goes, "These people are going to rip you to, like you people, because you're so freaking smart.
Yeah.
These people are going to rip you to shreds." I said, "No, I think I can hold my own. Plus, it's fun. And it's something new. It's
Yeah.
something challenging for me to come on with people like you."
Yeah.
And so I love what I do in the sports world, but I'd like to do other things that sort of test me in a different way. And I'm thinking I still have the opportunity to do things I like to do for fun in the midst of doing my job. So why would I want to not have a job?
I see that. I guess I would like all of it to be purely optional. Like that's the
You want the freedom.
1,000%.
that's where the
Yeah.
That's fair.
yeah that's where it gets fun. The idea of being retired is I'll just do this exactly when I do and I feel like it.
I cannot imagine a worse thing than to be retired. I literally can't think of a
It depends on how you see
single thing worse.
retirement. Does it have to be sitting around playing golf?
Oh, I mean, I'm just saying, like right now, my life is awesome. I do only stuff that I think is really cool. And if suddenly somebody said, "Well, now you're retired and you can't do all this cool stuff," and you have, what am I going to
What
do?
are you going to do?
I mean, like,
Well, the one
gonna
problem
do?
that I've gleaned about retirement, at least for myself, is if you've ever done a stretch of unemployment, you realize this: going to work is the only thing that doesn't cost money. Everything I want to do in retirement, that is an outflow situation.
Yeah, but the idea of retirement
sucks.
is that, well, no, I mean, I don't know what's going on with you.
I know.
Retirement
dudes, take
sounds
it down,
great.
you aggro dudes.
You can
ideally,
I feel I'm
you would
gonna be
have
more aggro.
ideally you would have enough money to like do the things you want to do.
But what would you want to do?
I would want to sit on a
build
beach
wine
That's it,
and
yeah.
relax.
Stairs.
You talk about it
That's
all the
for
time.
Am I crazy?
No, you're not. I feel the same way.
But
I
why?
had
What
this
would you do on this
vision.
beach?
I would
I
just
would-
disappear.
Yeah, I would like to go to other
disappear.
countries and eat their cuisine.
Just
Why?
go.
I would like to meet new people.
Well,
and
but I get to do that.
not
in
have
my-
any
in
place
my
to
job.
be.
So
See,
that's-
that's what the
so
real
that's
issue
yeah.
is. Retirement is overrated for you.
For me.
For
Yeah.
most people,
Understandable,
it's that
yes.
job that's getting in the way
The
of all
job
the
that they're
things
not
that you're
enjoying,
getting paid to do. Like, I'd like to go to
hopefully-
the French Open. You're like, yeah, it's funny. I did that
Yeah,
in the job.
I hope
that.
that like by the time I'm old enough to retire, I have some grandkids and I can just like play with babies
Yeah,
and not have to actually be responsible for them.
Yeah.
Like that sounds great.
I agree.
Okay.
I don't know about you guys, but
We'll see.
I'm up here with,
They need to fill
They-
the empty hole
I
inside.
guess so.
I just everything that I do is dope, and I just like want to keep doing it.
I love what I do, but
So I don't. It doesn't.
Next
to me, it doesn't
day.
feel like work.
See ya.
And if I had to sit
Bye,
around,
Van.
if
Let
I had
us
to sit
know when
around
the
on the
date
beach
is.
and talk to people I don't know, I would put a fork in my eye.
Okay, I don't want to talk to people I don't know.
with
That's
you.
true. We have a couple viewer confessions. Here's the first one. My family and I think Disney is the worst place on earth.
I agree.
Have you done it?
Yes, many times.
Many?
Well, here's the
Oh,
thing. It used
geez.
to be that Bob Iger wouldn't do interviews with me unless I went to Disney, and I used to call it the unhappiest place on earth every time I saw it. You know, my brother loves it. Lots of people love it. The stuff they spray in drives me crazy. They spray so it smells like cinnamon all the time. Drives me
So
nuts.
sad.
The only thing I liked is I went on a Disney cruise and the soft serve was
Oh
excellent.
God, no Disney cruises.
Well,
but I've done
I
I do like the
Disney
turkey
as an
legs.
adult.
I do like the turkey legs.
Turkey legs are good.
Good.
I've done Disney as an adult, and I actually thoroughly enjoyed it.
Did you? I did.
Yeah.
Well, Patrick was going to Disney for free.
No, unfortunately not.
You
As a-
didn't
as
have
a-
the-
as
you
a-
didn't have
as
the
a-
ticket benefit
no,
package?
As a almost 30-year employee or independent contractor for ESPN.
Oh,
I've been
no
for my
silver
whole
card
career.
for you.
Didn't get the tour, the backroom tour? where you
No,
get
but I
past the
did take
rides?
my
I did
3
that.
daughters there when they were quite young. And in fact, I took them there once without my wife.
Oof.
And it was it was awesome.
Wow.
They got dressed up in the outfits, the whole thing. We went to the
Princesses.
lunch,
Did they do the princesses?
the whole deal when they were little.
Yeah.
Now going back there doesn't seem that attractive, but back in the day.
Epcot is great. You can just drink
They
all
run
day.
it like they could.
They-
They should run the government.
The long-
Disney people.
Yes.
The long lines I don't like, but I enjoy everything else. I remember though, my 17-year-old, when he was little, we went to Disney World and we stayed in like the hotel or something.
Yeah.
Several.
And they had the phones, like the phones that plug into the wall, like the old-fashioned phones.
Right.
And my maybe 4-year-old son at the time, he had no idea what it was. He's like, what's that?
What?
He never,
Cell phones, yeah.
And so, because we said, well, it's a phone. But in his mind, a phone is this and all this sort of stuff. He goes, that's not a phone. And I said, it's a phone. Wow.
It's like you might as well have been looking at the joint where you hold it to
Yeah.
your ear. And you hold it
He had
to your
no
hand.
idea what it was.
Right.
Well,
It's the old operators.
I said, well, what do you think it is? He goes, it's a toaster.